FOMO, Wells only and his guests are not responsible for any losses you may accrue for having weekends. Where the haters at? Y'all bitches still ain't showed up. And now, right, we got Hex, flawless uptime. People thought this was a joke. Now they're mad at the chart.
This is Whales Only. Glad you guys can make it out. I'm making some claims that are pretty outlandish, but I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there, so don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're gonna pay the consequences for that, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody, literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what Hex has done. Boom. Oh, it's about to get funky. Funkier than you could have ever imagined. You know, Richard Hart is a boss. Hex is literally the best thing on the planet. It's simple mathematics. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The God will told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. These motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all's deep. Everybody. My God. Hex-Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets it. Yo, Wendy's done told you. Dollar Club done told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. Yo, what up, X fam? Shout out to y'all. Hope everybody's having a fantastic, what is this, Thursday evening or Friday morning, depending where you're at, or Thursday morning or afternoon. I don't know. Shit's crazy. What's up, homie? How you doing, man? Talking to you, brother. Don't be shy. Don't be stage shy.
Man, that intro, I think I'm going to go to Vegas tonight. I'm so pumped after that intro. Damn, let's go. Do some gambling like we were talking about backstage. My man.
Yeah, man. How you doing? Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you.
Oh, I was looking forward to it. Like we were talking about earlier, I was like, nah. I was feeling tired and like, oh, maybe I'll cancel this. Let them know. I said, let's give me an hour. See how I feel in an hour. I can always last minute cancel. And I felt great. I was like, yeah, I need to stream with my bro. We've been chopping it up online for quite some time now. A couple of years, I guess. I don't know. I forget. Time's flying. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing about time. You know, it doesn't stop ever. Hold on, guys. You know what time it is.
The police show up?
Nah, it's just they always make noise over
here. They're coming to get you. They know you're streaming.
Man, you know how that goes. You know how that goes. And let me just say thank you for the super chat to start off, X Blind Royalty. Blind Royalty, the X's are on the outside. Going back and watching your first video is definitely a gem. Appreciate that. Thoughts on strategy for taking profits on RH products 3 years out? I'm thinking Hex is too volatile. A safe haven. Thanks. Well, the interesting thing is that it's difficult for a normal person to understand that it's not necessarily Hex. And what I mean is Hex is doing what it's supposed to do. It operates every day. It works 24/7. You know, it pays you every day. Nothing changes. Everything is the same. So what's actually changing is the value of the dollar, right? It's people's perception of it relative to this fiat thing that we all covet to a certain extent, right? This is what's actually happening. So what you have to realize is that, I mean, and this is difficult, is that the point of crypto is getting away from dollars. So if you're looking at it in dollar terms and you're not looking at it correctly, you still have to work on your point of view, because fiat is on its way out the door. This is why the value of everything is shooting up sky high. It's literally the reason why. It's no other reason. It's because fiat is done in its current form, right? And that being funny money, money that's not really money. And that's what it's all about, because that's exactly why crypto exists. So, you know, something that's very important to understand is everything I just said, because this is why a lot of people are going to get left behind. They don't know the bare basics of what this is about, right? They think this is like some market type stuff, and it's not. It's a software. This is programmable money, you know, because we don't got any good money. So this is it, right? This is it.
Hmm.
Right? I mean, that's the whole problem. Fix money, fix the world. Because what's happening? Well, what's happening is the cost of our livelihood is shooting sky high.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
It's getting yeah, inflation, prices are going higher, wages don't seem to be keeping up with it. But I mean, when it comes to, I'm no economist, dude. I mean, you're going to leave me behind. What I did take from what you said is a lot of people get left behind. Why are they going to get left behind? Is what I think. That's the first thing. That's the first question I ask myself. Why will people get left behind? Mainly because they don't know about crypto. I I'm rather extroverted when I'm out and about. Like, I've lived in the same place for forever, so I know a lot of the people. I go to the same stores. You know, I know a lot of people around town. And I asked them about crypto, and most of them have never heard of it.
Yeah. That's,
They go to crypto, they say, "What's crypto? You heard of Bitcoin?" No, and it sounds crazy because when you're in crypto and you're in the social media and you're in the Reddit or Twitter, it feels like, oh, everybody knows about crypto.
it's everybody. That's right.
It's like, no, nobody. We're in this bubble where nobody knows about crypto. It feels like they do, because you're going to meet some people every now. Like my buddy Matt and I will go out. We'll meet some people that say, "Oh yeah, Hex, I do Hex." So we feel like, "Oh, we found one," but that's once a year. The last 2 years, we may have met 2 or 3 people outside of the Twitter community or any social media that's in Hex, and they're not on social media. Those people exist, but the
Yeah.
vast amount of people in the world have no clue about it. Now, couple that with now try and pitch somebody what crypto is. That's the real trick, is understanding it, because crypto is a different language. It's like learning French or Spanish and you have never spoken or learned a word of it. I was talking to this guy about it, and he said he would rather lose his 8% due to inflation and have his cash than do crypto. I'm like, never
Incredible.
mind then. And those are the
Incredible.
people that will really get left behind.
Yeah. Wow. What the fuck?
Yeah, he said he'd rather have cash in his safe and lose 8% a year when I explained the inflation thing to him than gamble 1% of his savings on crypto. Like, just buy $500 worth. No, it looks like a scam. I'm like, but it isn't. I mean, everything's a scam till it isn't. You know, I mean, my construction company was a scam until it wasn't, until I proved myself. And so far, crypto's proved itself, the real stuff, in my opinion. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. I work Wall Street, and dumb fools over there still haven't figured out what the next trade is.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Guys in the business. That's all they do. That's crazy.
Pretty much.
That's crazy. So the question becomes, how do I deliver this? Well, I mean, almost, this is where it feels scammy because it feels like an Amway meeting. Who do you talk to first? The people you know. You
Right.
know what I mean? Family and
Right.
friends.
Right.
That's
Because they're the ones that
nice.
are going to be like, those are the easiest targets, right? Because you're already comfortable enough to talk to them, which is the hardest part, is building up that
Yes.
confidence.
Yes. You don't want to tell people you don't know because you figure, oh, they're. See, I've been in sales my whole life, so it doesn't. I've been told no so much. It just, I don't care. It rolls off of me.
Right.
But most people haven't been in sales, so it's hard. I understand. I mean, I've had years of training in sales. I've closed easy deals. I've had to close hard deals, all that stuff. And I've been fairly successful doing it. And it's mostly been door to door in people's homes or phone. It wasn't, it was before the tech boom when I started, when I was doing my thing. So, it's very comfortable for me to talk to people outside of my family and friends, but that's still where I started. I ended up, my wife bought some Hex. I was shocked because she's so old school. And
Right.
then she told her girlfriend about it, and her girlfriend said, "Well, I want some." Well, why? Because she trusts her, and my wife trusts me, and I trust the friend who got me in. So it's that, not to be cliche, but the circle of trust, Simba.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she ends up buying it, but now I'm talking to her about it, and she's just, when I'm talking to her friend about it, which is a pretty cool story because she was a ex Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, really, really cool girl, friends with my wife and friends with my other buddy. She was just glossy eyed when I was explaining it to her, and I understood. I said, if you want to learn this, you're gonna have to study. You're gonna have to read the websites. You're gonna have to get in the chats because this takes a long time. I mean, it just takes a long time to understand it when people are talking. Because I'm telling her about it, and I can just see her being glossy eyed. My first question to her was, before you do anything, I tried to flutter her out. I said, who do you trust more, you or your bank? And she went, ooh, I don't know, was her answer. Because your bank takes care of your money right now. If you're going to do crypto, real DeFi, you're going to have to take care of everything, and there's no one to call if you screw up. You hold your key. If you lose your keys, your money's gone. If you send it to the wrong address, your money's gone. You're in charge of everything. There's no customer service number, nothing. It's you. You're responsible for all of it. And she was willing to do a little bit to start. So that was encouraging.
Right.
That's the first thing I try and do is tell them, look, this could go to zero. Even with Hex, I tell them, this could go to zero. You could lose all your money. I try and flood them out if they're
For
interested.
sure.
And if they're still interested, okay, let's do a little bit. So that's how I approach it. I just ask them the questions to make sure they really want to do it. And can you really afford to lose this money? If you're borrowing money off credit cards, if you're taking loans out on your house, I would never suggest that, even just as a regular dude. That seems really dangerous
Yeah.
because we could be in this bear market for a bit. We could snap out of it next week, or we could be in it for another year. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the catch, though, right?
Yeah,
You don't know.
that is. Exactly. I mean, I agree with some of the people that talk about Hex being a savings account. Yeah, I agree. If you're staking out 2, 5, 10 years, that's exactly what it is. So no reason to really sweat it. It actually gets rather boring.
Yeah, that's
when
what you want. But
you
that's what
look
you
at
want.
it like that, it's like,
Yeah, but that's what you want.
kind
That's
of.
the thing.
I, that is. But I'm an excitement junkie. You know what I'm saying? Like I love
Yeah,
some
yeah, but
excitement
but
going on.
but but,
Yeah.
but there's a difference,
Yeah.
right? There's a difference, and I definitely want to talk about this because this is important because this is something we don't really talk about often. But
Mm,
that's important because the way you make easy money is by not being stressed out. It's not
true.
by sweating every cent move and every tick and
Mm,
whatever have you. You know how that goes. right? And this is what
Yeah,
people,
what happened this 15 minutes, Candle? Yeah,
right? Yeah,
that
and
is
people
crazy.
love,
Yeah.
people love that TA. They love that nonsense, and it doesn't make them money. It doesn't.
Mm,
Unless they're
true.
specifically playing a long-term trade where they're buying on a long-term basis, TA isn't doing anything for them.
Mm,
It's just
right.
not. It's just not. Because if you're getting in and out, then you're missing P&L somewhere. That's a fact.
Mm,
Because the
mm,
market always puts a price on friction. Always,
right.
right?
Mm,
Always. Something got to burn off. Somebody got
yeah,
to get paid. Is it
that's
going to be
right.
you? Yeah, is it going to be you? Or is it going to be the person exiting paying the person that's just staying in? Right?
Mm,
Because that's
right.
really how markets work.
Right.
It's not really, in and out in 15 minutes is who's going to be the longest standing man. That's
Mm,
really what determines who the winner is, right? Even when you're in a slot machine, you know, what's the determining factor? How long you've been pulling that slot, that lever,
mm,
right? The longer you pull that lever, the greater your odds of success. And it's not even always true, but it's
right.
just generally the case,
I
right?
I understand the example. The example is legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know what you're
exactly.
talking
Like
about.
it's one of those funny things where you think you're good, but you're not, right? Because
Right.
you could see somebody pull that lever 20,000 times, and then here come you 20,001, pull it for 10 pulls, and nothing happens, and then here comes somebody on the 20,011th, and then boom, they hit jackpot.
Yeah. Right. Right.
They're
Yeah.
gonna be mad as
Such
hell.
is such is crypto trading.
Yeah,
And the one who hits and the guy who hits it gets to write a book and teach people how to
yeah.
win at slots. That's the funniest part.
That's the funniest part.
How to
Yep.
win at slots. How to win $1 million on a slot machine. Well, how? Well, you
Crazy,
put
right?
in you make me sure you're the third guy that shows up after it's been pulled 20,010 times. That's all you have to do. All you
Yeah,
have to do to win in crypto is, I guess, go back to 2016 and buy ETH. Load up.
that's the easiest thing.
I mean, that's a whole hilarious part to the how I got rich. The specific how I got rich crypto stories is it's what they did that it's an area you can't go back to and repeat on that particular experience. That's why I like the broader, simple, buy, hold a product with market fit. That makes so much more sense to me instead of some specific instance.
Yeah,
It's like I could tell my hex story, but it's not going to help anybody. Telling every single buy I made on what day and how I staked it, and when it comes due, and all that. My suggestion, I guess I got to say, not financial advice. That's all I got to say. Not financial advice. It's just DCA now at this price because I don't see hex not going up in the future. I just
right.
can't see it not going up. I mean, I see a future hex going up, but
That's easy to see,
the
right?
community's got to market outside of the crypto community. That's really what
Yeah,
Richard's trying to
that's
teach everybody. He's
look,
buying
man. I've been trying to
Rolexes.
tell these
Look,
people that since I started fucking streaming. They don't want to hear it.
right,
They want to fucking
right.
talk to morons
No,
that are too stupid to even know what crypto is. I don't know why, but
right,
whatever.
right. You got
People
to
are
go
hell bent on talking
outside,
to idiots.
and me and my brother Matt have some plans after the PulseChain comms. We've already talked about it, and we got some things cooking that are going to be really, to me, are really cool. And it's going to sound boring as shit to the community. I know already, but the glory is going to be in the grind right now. Got to get in the trenches at this point. I see this chase for glory in the community. I'll say it. I don't give a shit. You know, Richard's made it very clear he's looking for glory. So what's happened is community members want glory too. It's like, well,
there is a lot of egos, right?
How about Richard's been in it for 12 years? How about Richard's taken hits that our biggest community members haven't taken?
Mm-hmm.
He's been called every name in the book.
100%.
He's been flooded to the maximum.
Yeah,
There's no community member in HEX that has been flooded more than Richard. Sorry, he's earned it. We just need to be soldiers. You know, we need to be spokes in the wheel. You know, but I see everybody, and I guess that's the thing. That is the trick with social media. I mean, really, social media is just about being right. It's like that's the game of social media.
I mean, it's not
who gets to be right today.
It's not even about. I don't even think it's about being right, because there's plenty of people that are wrong and they still get attention for some reason. So I don't think
they
it's
just want
about.
To be. They just have to be right once. Everybody's trying to be right one time, and then you can just sit on that for attention.
Yes, man.
You know what I'm saying? I called the hedron top or whatever it is.
Right, that one instance.
Yeah, I called the top on the day of Cum Rocket, whatever it is. It's ridiculous. It's just hilarious to me. And I can't tell half the time if they're trolling or being serious.
Right,
it's just funny. It's just funny to me. So I think the boots on the ground, getting out in your community, meeting people, forming relationships. I'm fortunate, you know, I'm 51 years old, so I have relationships that are 20, 30, some 40 years old. So I got a lot of people that trust me and that I trust. I've known them a long time, so that does make it easier for me. But building those relationships, because this really is relationship selling. And that's not to say that the mailers and all that stuff is super important, because if nothing else, the more people see that HEX logo, that impression gets in their brain. This is just as important. Don't get me wrong. You know, doing door hangers or mailers of HEX pamphlets, that's all baller. I'm all for that, because that puts the impression in people's brains. It's about impressions. How many times are they seeing this? You know, because about the 10th time they see it, they're going to say to themselves, I've seen that before. And they're not going to know how they saw it.
No, it's just going to be there.
Yeah, it's just going to be in their subconscious. They're going to go, they're going to be driving down the road a year from now and see a billboard with the HEX logo on it and go, oh, I ain't heard of that. And they're going to trust it a little more. Let me check that out.
Whether they wanted to or not, right? Whether they wanted to or not. And that's the thing.
Whether they wanted to or not. Dude, I knew about Apple computers when I was back in the 80s. I bought my first Apple computer. I bought my first Apple computer 12 years ago. It worked.
Right.
Their marketing worked, because I knew it was the best. And it finally became affordable, and I was finally able to buy a Mac.
Right.
Boom. But it just took a couple decades for me to, however long it took for me to get one. But I eventually got one. And I think that's Richard's vision for HEX. He knows it's a grind, but he also understands that mass marketing. So, I mean, I can't really talk about it because he understands how to market to hundreds of millions of people at a time. And I don't. I just trust his process. I see what he's doing. I'm like, God, it's working.
Yeah, it works. I mean, what is he doing? You know, I could talk a little bit about it because I understand what he's doing. I don't have the interest. I don't have the inclination. I frankly don't care enough, right? I don't care enough about people that don't care enough about themselves. He's trying to put himself in front of people that don't care enough about themselves to find him. Because that's the thing. How can those people hear his message if he doesn't get in front of them? Right.
Right.
And the easiest way to do that is by doing the type of crap that the people that they follow do. Dress gaudy, be belligerent, be fucking hyperbolic, right? Do all the crazy shit that those fools do.
Right.
That's what he has
Right.
to do. He doesn't have an option. That is how he
Right.
gets mass marketing. So it's completely logical, in fact,
Right.
right? It's just not. It's not what we care to see, but we don't need to give a fuck because we're already here. It ain't for us,
I
right?
kind of got
I
a kick out of
mean,
it, actually.
fine, sure, but a lot of people had something to say about it too when it wasn't their place,
Yeah.
and that's the point, right? Like this is
Sure.
decentralized. Shut the
Sure.
fuck up and go pump your own bag. Right? I mean,
Right. Yes.
that's how it
No, that's a good
goes.
point. Yeah, do it
Yeah,
however you're comfortable doing it.
correct.
Oh
That's right.
yeah, man. Me and my buddy's dad, me and my buddy's dad, who was in Hex, it's like, Rich is gonna ruin the Hex. And I'm like, stop it, Boomer.
Yeah. It's hard for people to get that.
Calm down.
Yeah,
This is
it's hard for
not
people
a
to get
three-piece
that.
suit operation. It is.
Yeah, and
It
this
really
is
is.
why lesson one is this is software, nothing more. If you have a hard time
Right.
getting that, you're lost on the rest. It's not gonna matter what else you know.
And it takes time to get that, especially
Yeah.
for no coiners. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
It was hard for me to get it. When I was buying
It
it, I
takes
didn't know what
time.
the hell I was
Yes.
doing.
Yeah. It takes
I was
fucking.
lucky.
It takes time, bro. Yo,
I was
let's
lucky that I've been in crypto long enough. Yeah.
think about it. I mean, we're talking about accepting something
Talk
that
to me,
is
baby. Talk to me.
unacceptable in most other places,
Yeah.
right?
That's a
I
good
mean,
point.
it's just retarded, right? Like, I mean, people are not used to thinking in other monetary terms. Like, it's just not normal, right?
Right.
So that's the thing that's most confusing to people. How do you get to a point where this crypto stuff is normal?
Yeah, it's just the time, right? That's just the time.
Americans don't
I
know dick
was thinking
about two
about that.
currencies.
I was thinking about that before the stream. I was like, when does the mass of society, if ever, accept crypto? I'm not sure it's in my lifetime.
I
I
think
mean,
so. I
I might.
don't think they're gonna have much of an option, bro.
Maybe you might be right, but I'm just thinking. I mean, I'm here 20, 30 years. Bye. I'm outie. I
Mhm.
know. I
No, I
mean,
know
I
what
hit
you mean.
80.
I know what you
You
mean
know,
because it seems
I
like
mean,
it's never gonna happen. Because if
I
it's
think it's
gonna
make great waves
happen,
though. But
well, I think what you're
yeah,
saying is like if it's gonna happen, it needs to happen like now.
no, no,
No,
no. I'm not saying
okay.
that. I'm saying this stuff does take time.
No, it does take
This
time. Yeah, because I mean,
adoption is Bitcoin adopted.
nah, not really.
There you go.
They like to
10,
act
12
like
years.
it is. They like to
Right,
act like it is. They like to.
right.
I mean, think about it. What what is actually happening? Well, what's actually happening is that people are trying to find ways to do things that they couldn't do before, right? And this is constantly what we see in tech. This is why there's even
Right.
technology that can read minds, right? And this is true story. This is not even made up. So
Mm,
when you see stuff like that, then you got to realize that there's just nothing you can do to stop this freight train. It just isn't.
right. I agree. I agree with that 100%. Crypto ain't going anywhere.
Nowhere. So
It will get bigger and bigger. I think it'll just be on a slower time horizon.
right.
Which
Well,
I'm saying a couple, 3 decades is not a long time.
let's think about it. The internet is how old? 30 years old.
Yeah, there you go.
30 years old. And it is way, way valuable at this point in time.
That's right.
But in
And
1992, it wasn't even this pop. It wasn't
yeah.
even, what was the internet in 1992? So it wasn't even 30 years. It hasn't even been 30 years. It's been
Oh,
less.
dude, I was dialing up. I was using dial up You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I used to use
You
Davo
know,
too.
you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was awesome. I thought, man, this is a deal. It only takes 10 minutes to get online. How cool.
remember
You
that?
know what I'm saying? Yeah, now it's instantaneous. If it takes 10 seconds now, I'm irritated.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, when I talk in those, maybe it's just 10 years and it's adopted, but that's not a long time. It could take, I'm saying if it takes longer, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
I'm
I got you.
I'm bullish. I'm bullish on adoption. It's always a time frame. Like me and my buddy talk about when's Tesla taking over the world. He thinks it's 20 years. I think it's 40.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
don't see that. People are so misled on this green energy thing. Even RH doesn't know any better. Green energy is not green. That shit is dirty
right,
as fuck. You're actually using
right.
more combustible energy per unit, i.e., vehicle, than you are for just regular gas, electric, just regular vehicles, bro. Like it's redundant. I mean, you're creating more worse situations for people than you are improving people's lives with this shit. So it's a complete bastardization of what the end goal is. It's a joke, and people are
I
figuring
think
that
the
out also.
I think I think the thing about the Tesla is it's just
Good
the
marketing.
lack of the lack of maintenance you have to do on it. You don't have to pay for the gas. I mean, it's just so efficient in those terms.
Until you can't charge
As
the
far as
motherfucker.
yeah. Well, we're going to find out because we're driving it to Vegas,
Oh,
and
well,
he's
good
taking
luck.
it across the country. Well, he's taken it across the country a couple times, no problem. So we'll see. We're going to take it to Vegas. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun, I think.
I hope
And
you
I'm
make
not going to. Me too. If not,
it. Because that's the
I'm going to
biggest.
call you. I'm going to
Yeah,
call
that's the
you and have you pick
biggest.
us up.
That's like the biggest thing I'm hearing right now is that you got all these bootleg energy restrictions all over, and how are you gonna charge something when you can't charge anything?
Right. Tesla has their stations. You can map them out. I mean, it's pretty simple. It does it for you, but
I hope
hey,
it
I'm not
works
a
out.
Tesla dude. It's
Yeah,
just
I don't
Tesla
know.
so
All
far.
I know is
Okay.
you should
Yeah.
be able to travel without question, and that's not the case with a Tesla. The world is not
E-
set up for that. Period. It's just not. It sounds cute, and I hear you, but it
Yeah.
ain't. We just not there yet, and we're never
It,
gonna be there at the pace that we move. It's just not gonna happen. It's just owning a Tesla is like banking on the current infrastructure to actually improve. Like it's redundant. It makes zero sense when they are part of the problem. They're part of the problem. They're not helping the world. How the fuck are they helping the world when they out here supporting China? Like, get the fuck out of my face. You gotta be shitting me. You gotta be a complete moron not to see that they're a problem. And whoever gets
I
offended,
love it.
wear it. I don't give
Yeah.
a fuck. Learn
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Learn something. Straight
Yeah.
the fuck up. Yeah, because people love to talk, but don't know what the fuck they're talking about, bro. We can't have that. We can't afford that. It's already too late in this game for that shit. Right?
Dude, you, dream on if you think people are going to stop saying
Oh
stupid
yeah.
shit.
Well, hey, they continue. They can continue to get
It
called out.
will. It will continue. Well, we'll be able to call out.
That's
So
right. Because we ain't got
I'm
shit
looking
else to
forward
do.
to it, man. If I can't
We-
troll on Twitter, I'm out of Twitter.
right.
I'm
No doubt
gone.
about that. Yeah. No
Because
doubt about that.
I gotta keep my comedy account. I mean, my account is mostly for comedy, some trolling, maybe a little bit of what I think, but I don't want anybody to take the shit I say too seriously. I'm
Yeah. Well,
normally
that's the
joking
thing
around.
about the internet, bro. It's not for people like you and me. It's not.
Mm,
You think it is, but it's not.
I don't know. It's entertainment.
Because
It's
that's
entertainment
the
for me. It's
thing. It's
entertainment for
not
me.
entertainment for some people.
That's true. That's true.
That's right. Some people think that
Yeah,
shit is real
that's a
life until
fact.
they get
That's a
in real
fact.
life. Then they realize, oh shit, that was
Yeah.
just the internet.
Yeah, and therein lies part of the problem too when you get trapped on social media, which I haven't really thought about that too much. Because it does
Mm.
make talking to people in real life, it can make it more difficult, I believe, when your head's stuck in your phone
Right. Yeah.
or in front of the computer all day and night, you know, because that's, I mean, I think of cats like Roger Ver, you know, boots on the ground, talking about crypto to people on the streets, you know, those early Bitcoin dudes in the chats, you know, those guys who stayed in that are ballers, dude.
Yeah,
They're
big time,
ballers.
big
The
time.
first Bitcoin meetup where there's 4 of them or whatever, and they
Right.
just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. You know, people can shit on this PulseChain conference, and that's fine. It was a big fuck around deal. I get it. But we're just going to call it a PulseCon meetup now. We're just meeting up in Vegas in September. That's all. We're meeting up in Vegas for a week next week or 2 weeks from now. That's how I'm looking at it. It's a meetup, and I want to be there. Even if PulseChain Inc., I don't think it'll drop by then. But I want to be there just for the history of it.
Right.
You know, see who the real ones are. Now, I'm not saying people who can't go, can't go. I get that. But people are going to go and say, well, fuck that. I'm not going because it's a scam. Well, okay, that's fine too. You don't have to go. But I want to meet some of the Hexagon brothers that I met at the Hex conference and meet some new people. You know, just have a good time. You know, feel that community, because that's when you really feel it, when you're face to face.
Yeah,
I
you
feel it
know, it's
more
so
there than I
washed
do on
out
social
now.
media.
It's so washed out. It's not like it was the first time. Pulse
Right.
chain itself has just made it such a low bar that it's just not really as interesting as it was. But I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, I can
You know,
respect what you're
you
saying. I can
just
respect what you're saying.
well, you got to understand, man. The people that were around then really respect crypto. The people that are around now, they fake it, and you can see it by the
What?
shit that they even build. You know
Well,
what I'm
and that's
saying?
because they got
So,
they. Yeah, and that's a good point,
hmm
because when I was on BitClout all of last year, all of 2021, it's called DeSo now. It's a social media I don't care for it. I didn't really care for it when I was on it, but I was there to shill Hex. And I was the only one shilling Hex on that site. There was no other people. The Dwayne came up. Dwayne showed up later, I think, and he was shilling also. But I made some good connections on that site, and some
hmm
people got involved in Hex, and a bunch of people sacrificed for PulseChain from that site.
hmm
You know, but it's just getting outside of the Hex community into a new community, and it was social media, so it was just right up my alley where I could
sure,
talk shit to people. They'd call me dick, that's a scam, and I just flip them the bird and just troll them into blocking me.
right,
You know, it's just perfect. But what I discovered is there was no one on that site that understood crypto or DeFi.
sure. Not,
And the
not
problem with that
uncommon.
is it made me think I knew more than I really did. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And luckily I got my buddy who really understands crypto well that I could bounce this off of. And he called me out on a couple things. I was like, ooh, it kept me humble. It kept me from thinking I knew more than I knew,
hmm I mean,
and
I
put
get
me,
it though.
he
That's
would put
fair.
me in check. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fair though.
Because
It's
it's
fair.
easy to think I know something about crypto. I
hmm
know something about this market. I know about DeFi. I understand it. And the more people are going, wow, you know a lot about this. Holy smokes. You've been in since how long? Wow. Oh, you know, just kind of strokes that ego. And I had to tell my buddy about it. And he'd say, you know, you really don't know shit yet. I know more than you know. I'd be like, yeah, that's a good point. And keep me to where I could stay centered and not think. I think
Yeah,
that's what happens to some of these guys, maybe. I don't know. It could. But we got the grifters in Hex 2 with these shit coins coming out. I'm not going to name any names,
yeah, but
but
I gotta tell you something. You
come
gotta
on
realize
now.
that while you're deciding to make whatever decision you're making, right? It works both ways, right? So if somebody is saying, "Hey, I want to learn about this thing," then they're gonna decide to learn about that thing. But they,
True.
they
That's true.
gotta want to, and that's the catch. A lot of people think they
Oh,
want to.
dude. Yeah, man, dude. I had this dude. I didn't even realize he was really paying attention. And 6, 7 months in to me chit chatting, he DMs me on that other site and says, "Hey, man, I've been seeing about this Hex thing. Blah 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 blah." Well, make a long story short, dude lives in Guam, right?
Mm.
Dude's all in on Hex. I would have never guessed this dude. I talked to him on the phone.
Oh,
We swapped
wow.
numbers, talked to him about it. Yeah, but it's to your point. I didn't tell him anything about Hex. He did his own
Right.
research.
Right. You just
He
mentioned it.
wanted to learn about it, and he learned about it. Boom. Just
Done.
exactly what you were saying. That's a perfect example of it. And he's DCAing right now, still. He's like,
That's
I'm loving this 5 cent Hex. I'm
yeah.
like,
That's right.
he gets it.
That's right.
And I did nothing but just put Hex.com up on a social media platform. That's really what I did.
Crazy.
Talked about it in clubhouse rooms, all this shit. Hosted some. It was fun. It was a fun year. And then everything
Shit went
everything
normal.
started going down. Well, everything
Yeah.
started going down, and everybody left that site. And it was just me and felt like 10 other people. I'm like, well, I'm wasting my time now. Now I need to get to Twitter. I need to get over to Twitter and start engaging with these cats some.
Right.
And it's worked out pretty well so far. People like my shit posting, I guess. They love the orangutan.
Everybody loves for shit posting. Everybody.
How's chat doing, man? How are the brothers and sisters doing in chat? I don't want to.
Well, they're good, bro. They're used to me
Okay,
just
cool.
ignoring them and occasionally
Okay,
acknowledging.
cool.
Yeah, because I just ramble. I just like a machine
Yes,
gun sometimes. So they understand
we
it
love
anyway.
it. We love your rambles, man. I go to your
You know,
streams.
it's
And
funny,
listen to you
man.
ramble.
I've become a lot more self-reflective now that I gotta be like talking to people and shit, right? So it really makes me more
Yeah.
aware of the craziness that I be doing, right? Because typically you're not aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So right, you're typically not aware. So when you start paying attention, you're like, oh shit, all right, I gotta start paying attention because you're
Right.
just going. And the most difficult thing to realize is that just because you're talking doesn't mean people understand what you're saying.
Right.
Right.
No, that's true. Yeah. I mean, there's context
Yep.
in everything.
In everything. And that's the hardest thing about trying to communicate online. You could be saying something that to you is the most simplest thing, period. And I'll tell you what, not gonna be the case for others. Could
Oh,
even be Chinese,
factual.
and all you did was put 1+1=2, and they'll be like, "What the hell is that?" When they
Yeah.
know what it
No, it
is,
isn't. No, it isn't. It's not really
or
to.
that, or that,
You're gonna get
or
that.
that,
That's
yeah,
so
or
crazy.
that,
That's awesome. That's what I
right?
live for. I mean, I can't get the real trolls to troll me. They usually just block me. It's sad. It's sad. I've been
Now,
defeated a couple times. I've been defeated by a couple of dudes. They're just so windy. I'm like, the
it's all
windy
right, man.
trolls just get me.
Just pick it up and go back at them again. Don't be soft.
Yeah, well,
Get up,
when they
dust it
start,
off.
I do, but I do. Oh yeah, it doesn't faze me. I was like, never mind. And you win this round. You know how to use whatever the character limit is. Every reply is breaking my brain. So never mind.
Right.
I've noticed if I gif them to death, that's usually the most effective way. Just gif them.
Yeah, those always come in handy.
Yes, it's fun.
Yeah, I'm a fan
But
of
yeah,
those.
man.
They're
But
always
but
hilarious.
hey, I don't want to talk. The Hex community is fantastic. It's a fantastic community. I can take the negatives and we can talk about those all stream, but there's a lot of positives to the Hex community.
Mm-hmm.
A
Sure.
lot of positives to the Hex community. We have our
I
disagreements
stream
and
because
this
of the
and that and
community.
all that.
You know.
Yeah, but the community is, dude, when push comes to shove, dude, everybody seems to have each other's back. That's what's so cool. And
Most
that's
of the
what's
time, yep.
important.
Most of the
Yeah.
time, it is the
So
case. Yes, sir.
I do believe I believe it's the strongest community in crypto on Twitter, anyways.
Oh, for
I don't
sure.
see a
It's the
stronger community.
strongest. Wherever there's crypto and there's an amalgamation of hex people, we're the strongest. Period.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I mean, that's I'm really happy to be a part of that. I think a lot of that's Richard and you and Hexologist, and I can name a bunch of different people, but I'm not gonna a bit. I'll name a couple. But there's a lot of dudes that are just out there just doing the
Trying.
work like y'all every day. And that's, I ain't doing it. You ain't gonna see me
Mm-hmm.
streaming. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm old and I don't
I got
want
other
to.
stuff to do, right?
Yeah, I'd rather get out there and talk to the dude working at the gas station about it. Just plant little seeds around town. I realize it's not as efficient, but it's the
Don't
most
matter.
effective for me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I
Although
mean,
I did have good luck on diesel. I got to admit, there's some
oh,
people that I made some good relationships on there. I made
mm,
5 or 6 good relationships where we chit chat and text and stuff. So that's fun.
right, right.
But
Now check it.
I like it.
The
Yes.
important thing is to understand that this is brand new. You know, people aren't going to really understand hex if they're new. So the most important thing is to get them to understand what crypto is. Once you get them to understand what crypto is, after they realize that fiat is trash, because that's really the catch. When I'm onboarding people, that's the hook for me, because that's the easiest thing for me to get people to understand. Everybody got to
Right.
pay for shit, and everybody got to pay more for shit every fucking day. Nobody's absolved from that fact, period. So it's really easy
Right.
to onboard people when you hit them with that. I
Mm,
mean, it doesn't even freaking, it doesn't even matter at that point. It's like, why am I holding this trash? I mean, this is why so many Venezuelans deal in crypto, because they have no choice, right?
I don't think. I mean, that this can't be understated. What you're
Not at
saying.
all.
I mean,
Not at all.
That's really the brass tacks of it.
Yeah. I
Is
mean, I've been trying to get
fiat
people to
is.
understand this since I started streaming. And I mean, we're at a point now where we're literally just starting the hyperbolic move. People think this has
Right.
some type of end, and it doesn't. This is just the beginning of the unraveling. Your bills will only get higher from here. They're not going to get lower.
Right.
They're not. Because the money
Right.
printer has already
True.
decimated the value. That's it. We're at the end.
Right.
There's going to come a point in time. And Alan, thanks for the $5 super chat, brother. And I do agree. I am looking forward to that, because that's going to really allow people to DCA in a way that makes sense for them. And we're so early, believe it or not,
Right.
that they're going to benefit from them $100 stakes in a major way, right? And that's what's
Oh
important to
yeah,
understand.
dude.
Yeah, that's important to understand, because you know every rising tide lifts all boats, and when water comes into the flow of things, um, it doesn't displace; it just goes higher, right? So that
Right.
means that values go higher because network effect, essentially. Um, and that's what we can expect in the future, because, as you guys have probably figured out by now, ETH is never going to do anything to enhance its position amongst the ones. So that's going to really leave opportunity for PulseChain to come in and support the volume that Ethereum is seeing, and support the system, right, as it stands, because it does need support. The gas situation is just ridiculous. It could be one way
Right.
1 minute and 30, 40 way the next. That's not feasible. That's not sustainable.
Mm,
Uh,
right. Oh sure.
so, yeah, no, it's not. Think about it. Imagine if your cost of shipping went from $100 to $10 within freaking minutes, I mean, would you be using that service? Probably not.
That's a good
What's the
analogy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's the difference? There's no
that's
difference. And
funny.
this is what people don't understand. This is why I look at these Ethereum people like
Right.
they're retarded, because they clearly don't know anything about business at all. If they think that that makes any sense
Ah,
long
well,
term,
there you
they're
go.
clowns. They're complete clowns. There's no value proposition there. Imagine
Yeah,
if the cost of gasoline was variable as the market and not, you know, how it is.
right.
It
Yeah,
just doesn't work that
you
way.
start pumping gas. You can start pumping gas. It's $2 a gallon. By the time you're done pumping, it's $4.
Yeah. Like,
It's like,
what the hell
wait,
happened?
stop. It's
Exactly.
changed. Yeah,
Yeah. And it doesn't
that's
work that
funny,
way.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people don't think about that, but that's how it works. You
That's why I'm
know,
so
this
excited about
is,
PulseChain. Yeah, PulseChain is gonna crush it. Gonna crush it, baby.
yeah, man, it's going to be ridiculous. I mean, and we
Yeah,
got Hedron now. I mean, and all this other cool stuff that's been attached to it with ICOSA and the staking functionalities with the NFT, HSIs,
yeah,
and all of that. I mean, you know, we got yield on yield on yield.
yeah. That's right.
Right? I
Oh,
mean, damn.
Hedron is pumping.
Hmm.
That's
Oh, that
nice.
too. That's right. Yeah, I forget about that. Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I told people about it for so long and people were just neglecting it, you know, and now
Yeah.
everybody doesn't shut up about it. It's interesting how that happens.
Well, but meme coins, bro.
Meme coins, you know what I mean? Yeah. They count.
but meme. Why buy a Hedron when you got meme coins, bro?
Oh yeah,
That are gonna
they,
10,000
they know
X.
best. They know best. They know best.
I'm sorry, dude. I can't help it.
It's a joke, bro. I mean, you know, man,
You get-
you know, it's just funny, right? Because all we can do is laugh.
Oh, I
All,
love
all
it,
we can do is
man.
laugh because where do people get the thought process where the thing that goes down in value is the thing that you want? I mean, I don't
Don't
get that.
know.
But that's what a lot of people like to preach and act on. I mean,
Yeah.
it's wild, bro. It's wild.
Well, it's
And
like, yeah.
where does it stop? It's
Well,
kind of
people pick the cities they want. People pick the cities they want to live in, right? Some
suppose they
people
do,
travel
yeah.
around.
Yeah,
I look at cryptocurrencies like city, I think
gotcha.
about XRP. Those
Huh.
dudes ain't leaving. The
Never. They
dudes who
moved
are
in
in
for
XRP
life.
are not. They moved into that town and they're trying to build themselves a city.
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect it. The Ada Bros there. Hey, we're Ada Bros. This is our city. The ETH Bros. This is our city. Mexico. This is our city. We move in here. And these cities are not ever going away.
Mm-mm.
It's just which ones are going to grow and which ones are going to stay.
Right.
Just never expand. Which cities? I see Hex expanding
For
quicker
sure. For
just
sure.
because of what's being built around it with PulseChain and PulseX and Hedron and ICOSA. And even the meme, I mean, I'll cut off for the meme coins. I get it, man. That brings people to PulseChain. Great. I am for that. The NFTs, I love the Staker class. I'm going to shout him out.
I
What
mean,
he's doing, I think it's
I don't
great.
necessarily agree with that premise because that's not what I see with the meme coins. It'd be different if they were out there actively engaging the outside, like, you know, the lames in crypto, but I don't see that. The
I get
only
it.
coin I see
I
doing that
understand that.
is pleb. What is it? Poor pleb. That's it. That's the only
Yeah.
coin I see that's actually doing that. None of the other ones are doing that. So I don't, you know, don't respect that at all. So
Everybody's doing the best they can with it. I'm sure. I know.
nah, they're
I
not.
wait.
And you can see it on Twitter. They're not doing the best they can. Don't lie. don't lie. They're not doing the
No,
best they can.
everybody does the best they can except for the manipulators.
Well,
So I think that's what we're talking about.
sure.
I understand the manipulators, but I mean, there's people in those communities that are not manipulators. Maybe they're fools,
Yeah,
or
well,
maybe they have high hopes, or maybe they have dreams.
sucks to
You
be
know what I'm
them.
saying?
Sucks to be
Yeah,
them. They
I
should
mean,
pay
that's
attention.
on them. That's on
Yeah,
them.
they should pay attention. Right. They should pay attention. I mean, they're
Sure.
for
Oh, I
sure not
agree.
watching this shit. Yeah, they're for sure not watching this shit.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh, absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
they're
there's
not the
some
type to be
value.
educated, that's for sure.
There can be value in all sorts of different things.
Well,
I'm
hey,
just my thought
value
process. This is what I do. This is what I do. I'm Hex first, then I'm PulseChain, then I'm PulseX.
value is
That's me.
elusive, right? This is the thing about value that most people don't get. Few things. Value is all in the human eye, mind, really,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So what that means is it's really fleeting. It's elusive. The value
Right.
is only as good as a proposition that backs it. Fact, not fiction. What the
Mm-hmm.
fuck does a meme coin have? Zero. Next.
Right. Right.
So if
Well,
these
yeah,
meme
that was kind
coins,
of
yeah, it's straightforward, bro. I don't mince meat. Like that's
yeah,
what it is. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So when I tell you these meme coins ain't doing shit, they ain't doing shit. The only one that is poor pleb. When I see the
Right.
other ones going outside of the Hex community and the Pulse Chain community to engage, then I'll have something different to say. But that's not what we're seeing
Right.
at all.
Right.
That's not what we're seeing at all. So when
That's a
you
good
see
point.
when you see coins trying to divert capital away from Hex, that's a problem.
Oh no, that irritates me. That does
Yeah, well
irritate me. I will
that's
admit.
what I see. I mean, look, it
Yeah.
annoys me so much so that it's motivated me to even start working on my own coin because I'm not seeing all this crap that people keep talking about. I don't see it.
Right.
I don't see it at all. It's very
Right.
interesting how everybody likes to say, "Oh, I'm doing it for adoption." I don't fucking see it. Period.
Oh no, 90% of it. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, that could be a secondary thing that happens, but that's not the primary purpose of why most of these
Correct.
people are doing it. I agree with
Correct.
you 100% there. Yes,
Correct. And you know
it's
what?
not the primary
If
purpose.
and here's my thing. If that is the
They're
case,
lying.
that's
They're
fine if you
lying.
don't want to actually do that, but just be honest. You know, nobody's gonna
That's
shoot
the
you
key right
or
there. Yeah.
bite you. You know, I could care
No.
less because there's plenty of
Yeah.
people out here making
Exactly.
coins that we don't even know about because they're not even tied to
Sure.
us.
Right.
You know,
I'm with you. I'm down with
so
that.
you get what I mean. So that's
Yes.
my whole
Yes.
thing. My whole thing is don't act like you have to lie about it. Yo, everybody wants crypto, so now is the time to make a coin. Just be smart about it.
Right. Right.
That's all.
Why?
Any coin that's made with some utility is gonna stick around. Period. Because none exist. Very few.
Right.
So
Right.
you know it becomes very simple. The math. Very simple.
Right. Well, it's about like what you said. Just be honest about it, and that's why I like the Staker class and the
Hmm.
NFTs he's doing because he's just being honest about it.
Hmm. Very
He's
much
telling
so.
what it is. Look, guys, this ain't like this is just what we're doing.
Yeah.
He's not promising anything. He's the first guy I heard in that space talk real about like, oh, I can get on board with truth. Yeah, it's a fun pick. It's a fun 8 pixel pick. I
Thank you.
can.
Come again.
I want that.
But
Yes.
you know, and this is the thing, right?
I'll
And this is
spend a
why I
couple bucks.
say,
Great.
but this is why I say value is fleeting, right?
Yeah.
It's elusive. You're willing to pay two
Right.
bucks for that NFT. Somebody else is not willing to pay
Yes.
$2 for that NFT.
Just
That's
like
it.
I paid $30 for comic books. I know I'll never sell for $30 because I wanted them.
Correct.
That was the
I
only
used
reason
to
I bought
collect
them. I didn't
comic
buy them
books.
thinking, wow, I'm gonna sell this one
I,
at 60. I never had that thought.
right.
You know what
Like
I'm
that
saying?
doesn't cross your mind at all.
No. It's fun to go online and say, hey, is this still worth 30 to somebody? And I was, well, you won't get 34. I said, yeah, but it's fun for me to go look and see if
Yeah, I mean,
I can
even
have
if
that
you
little fantasy game in my brain.
and even if you wanted to
Who
sell it,
cares?
you probably could sell it for more than what you bought it, but it would just depend on
Maybe.
how long you held it.
Yeah, I don't know where they are. They're in a box somewhere in a closet. That's what I know.
That's beside
You
the
know
point.
what I mean?
That's beside the point. The point is if you did want to let them go, the only
Yeah,
the only the only determinant in that equation is time. How old and how new.
right,
The
right. No,
older,
true.
the newer, the more valuable. You see, and
Right.
Hex is gonna work just the
Sure.
same way. So you
Yeah, that's a
know,
good point. Yeah, that's that.
yeah, that's right. That's right. So
That's it,
yes,
man. That's
thank you,
it.
Alan, for the super chat. $5. It's a contest on who can be the wrongest on the wrongest side of history the most. Not a slow train wreck, it's an instant train wreck. And yes, this is what you see a lot of the times,
That's
right?
funny, dude.
And that's that's really what you
Oh,
see a lot of the
that's a
times.
good line.
Yeah, and yes,
Not a slow train wreck.
no, a fast one,
That's
instantly
great.
fast.
Not a
Yes.
slow one. That's funny,
Yes,
dude.
and yeah, it's not gonna be called that, but yeah, it's gonna be hex centric, of course. It's gonna you're gonna need hex to even mint this coin. So more details to follow.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
good. I have a little hex left. I didn't sell all of it at 3 cents. So
no,
I'm
don't
good.
worry. I'm hoping
But
you'll have to buy more.
yeah, all right.
No
That's
worries.
right.
Trying to
I went
angle this,
all uh,
trying, trying to steer this ship, into more purchases facts. That's all.
yes. I bought all mine at 50 cents and sold most of it at 3, so I'm good.
Oh,
Buy high,
perfect.
sell low, people.
You did it right.
Please.
That's exactly the strategy.
Yes. Uh, oh man.
Sorry about that, man. But how do you get to a point where you're trying to ascertain what is the right move, right? And I talk about this all the time because it's so important. Um, you got to really understand, like, not just where you're standing, but also where you're standing within the big picture, right? Because it's very easy to just get caught up in the minutia of day-to-day activity. But that minutia is not really what gives you success, right? It's really the being able to push over the big obstacles in the big way, right? Because that's what really leads to success in some way,
Mm,
shape, or form.
right.
So, that's hard, right? That's hard for a lot of people to get their head around, but you gotta really put in the work to understand what it means to want what you want. How do you get to a point where you're satisfied, right? Because what is the meaning of that satisfaction to you, right? Like, what
Mm,
exactly is it that is telling you keep doing this thing that you're doing? A lot of people don't have any reason to wake up. Some people do. Some people wake up to find one, right? So I guess in a lot of ways, what's the reason for you to wake up?
mm.
Right? That's the way I look at it. Like every day, my mission is to help somebody understand something that's easy to me but difficult to them. Not simple for most people. How do
That's
you go ahead, bro?
no. I want to hear your last statement. How do you what? How do
Oh,
you what?
I was just gonna say, like, how do you help people get to a point where they're understanding that they're gonna be all right? They just gotta learn some basic concepts. 'Cause that shit, I remember when I first stepped into this arena.
it was daunting. All this technical shit. Like I didn't know a lot of this stuff. I knew some of it, not a lot of it. And with time, I've become, very superior relative to where I used to be. But that came with time. That came with dedication. That came with wanting it. How do you achieve something that you really, really want? You got to know you really want that. And that is probably the hardest thing for most people. Most people don't know
How do
what they
you
want.
achieve? Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that's a deep question.
Hmm.
That's a real deep question. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't even know that I know what I want yet. I mean,
See?
it's laid out. It's laid out for me though. I mean, just from my experiences and my decisions I made. I guess. I mean, I'm married. I got 3 boys. I got a grandkid. I got another grandkid on the way. So that's shaping a lot of what I'm doing, especially the grandkid and the one on
Right.
the way. It's like that made me change my whole perspective
That's
on
funny, huh?
what
First
happens.
it was
What
the kids,
happens?
now it's the damn
Yeah,
grandkids. Ain't that something?
yeah. Because you got. I mean, I had the kids and they all left. It's just me and my wife, and we're like looking at each other like, "Who the hell are you?" Seriously.
Crazy, right?
It's like because your life's built around your kids, and then they leave, and it's just you and her. And she's
Yep.
looking at me, going, "Who are you?" I'm looking at her, well, we have to
Right.
talk now about stuff.
Right.
And you get through that, and then all of a sudden a grandkid shows up, and it changes everything. Whoa, wait a minute! Now that missing piece of the kids is being replaced with
Right.
another piece, and then boom, another one's coming in December. I'm like, granddaughter, holy shit, what the hell? I have a
You just had
granddaughter and a
one.
grandson here. I got a grandson. Now, my point to this story is when Hex pumped, I see. I'm in that weird spot where I've never really, when I was buying Hex, I've been up the whole time. It's
Yeah.
one of
I
those.
feel your
Had a
pain,
little
sir.
couple. We had a we had a couple, 20-minute dips. It did 50% here, yeah, for 20 minutes. I remember. I remember the big payday dip and a couple
Every
earlier
farm
dips, but
remembers.
but they weren't anything that really phased. We're in the real pain. We're in the real dip
Yeah.
now. So when it was
Yeah.
pumping last year, I was thinking, me and my brother talking, and he's loaded, and I'm doing all right. And I was talking about, get the condo here, and do this, and do that, and do the other thing, and you you're talking to a dude with no grandkids.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, grandkids and a nice dip. Put my head around. And we were talking about that earlier. It's like I could have sold more at the top and had more money and this and that, but then does that trigger my DJ gambling?
Right. Which is the
Does
catch
that now?
22.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, do I just want to go play poker at the underground poker halls? Do I want to go
Mm.
to Vegas more? Does that really? Is that the best thing? Or is it best I just hold this dip and watch that account go down and go, hey, now I got some perspective? Because crypto gains break people's brains concerning money.
100%.
That is not talked about at all. I
No,
I tweeted out once. I haven't seen anybody tweet that out. I haven't heard anybody say it. Crypto fucks
I
people's
talk about it
brains
on
concerning money.
streams. I talk about it on streams. I don't tweet about it, but I talk about it on streams because I remind people. On Legacy, a 10x makes people's careers, bro. A 10x.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Hmm. A 10x will
Wow.
make you a fucking all star. They can never take that shit from you, no matter what. You can
Right.
you can blow up on that next trade,
Yeah.
but you had that 10 bagger, baby. Right? So
Yeah.
the more 10 baggers you have, the more of a rock star you are. So I,
Wow.
I tell people that, like, in crypto, we're spoiled, but this is exactly the point.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly the point.
This is how you know you're at the end of the other system. It's so easy to make money in this one because the other one doesn't even make sense anymore.
Hmm.
Like people gotta wake up. Like they gotta wake up because by the time they wake up, based on their realization, it's gonna be too late for most of them. Period.
It's true. That's true. All
We
we can
already
do is spread
there.
the message.
We're already there. Go to the
Yeah,
store
we
if
can
you
spread
don't
the
get the
message.
message.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's true, dude. That's true.
that's
Yeah,
right.
we can spread it. We can spread it as much as we can, and whoever hears it hears
That's
it.
all we can
Whoever
do.
doesn't
Yeah, that's
doesn't.
all we can do.
That's it.
That's all we can do.
But yeah,
That's why we talk crypto.
crypto,
That's exactly why.
crypto breaks people's brains,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking about the people who do, who hold or who buy, and it's shit. I mean, I've had trades where I bought, and 3 months later I looked at it, and it's 50x. I'm like, what happened here? Yeah, it was like,
A lot.
what the heck just happened?
Yeah, a
Yeah,
whole
I'm
lot.
like, wow. And it wasn't big amounts. I'm no rich person. But the dip saved me because now with grandkids, now I'm thinking, you know what? We're just going to fix it. This is what I want to do now. And I can do this with or without crypto. That's the best part for me. That's where
Right.
I'm spoiled. That's where I'm double spoiled. To do what I want to do, the plans my wife and I had, crypto wasn't in the picture when we were
Right.
making our plans, what we
This
want to do.
is funny because if you was holding options, that 30% was probably like 20x.
Right.
If you were holding but most people don't play options. They too
Yeah.
scared. So it's
No,
funny
I
like
don't even
that.
understand that shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
I've
it's a
never
different.
gambled in the markets because I know what a degen I am. The
Mm,
casino's got to be far away from me. It needs to be inaccessible to me
ha.
because I'm going to go once a year and do my playing and stay in check. Like I'll go to Vegas for a week and I'll gamble very little. And there's a very excellent percentage chance we will win because we don't play the math when we're in Vegas.
Right.
Because you lose if you play the math, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You lose if you play the math in trading. And I know all I have to do is not, it would be the first day of me trading that would get me hooked. And the worst thing that could happen to me is have a win
Yep.
trading
Correct.
crypto. Because having that first win is what crushes people.
Mm-hmm. They think
Look,
they know what
I
the fuck they're
know,
doing.
I remember the story of a guy who bought a crypto that was part of the HEX ecosystem. And he bought at the top and it went down. And then this gentleman traded for another shitcoin and it went down.
Hmm.
So, you start making those moves and you think you're going to time it and you just get crushed. This guy ain't crushed at all. It's
Nah.
fine. There's a lesson for me to say, that's me.
Right.
I could see a mirror right there. I said, if I start doing this is what will happen to me. It's a good lesson for me. It's no judgment on anybody who wins or loses in trading. Trade all you want. Sick 'em, tigers. I don't care. You're more than likely going to get crushed over time.
Right.
You might win for 10 years. Why? Look, and for the younger guys or girls listening, life is longer than you think. For the 20 and 30-year-olds, life is longer than you think it is.
Yeah.
So if you're trading, you're going to be trading on a multi-decade time frame.
You know what's
That's hard to
funny?
beat.
As a 20, 30-year-old, you don't know that, you don't get that, you can't really comprehend that.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
the
that's true.
biggest blind spot that a 20 or 30-year-old has. Not understanding time.
I did not even think about it. Of course, my brain's weird. I know my brain's weird. I'm not going to get too deep with my personal stuff. But I mean, I'll put it this way. I'm surprised I made it to 51. That's the only thing that
Right.
surprises me is I made it this far, which I'm grateful that I have. Most days I'm grateful I have. So good stuff. And no, I'm not suicidal, depressed, or anything. I just lived a crazy lifestyle. I have lived a crazy ass lifestyle. That's all. So
Usually
it's
how
like,
it works,
wow,
man.
yeah. So it's some funny stuff,
Usually
man.
how it works. So when you come across um, information on the internet, it's very difficult to figure out whether this information is valid or not, right? You're trying to figure out, is this information any good or is it trash? Because
Yeah.
we're all trying to find something somewhere about something. Um,
Something somewhere about something.
yeah.
Come on, man. Help me out.
Yes. Well, it's general. It's just general, right?
Yes.
You're trying to
Yes.
find something specific, and there's nothing specific. Put in whatever you
Right.
want in the way of somewhere,
Yes.
something, right?
Insert formula A here.
Yeah, it's basically a
Yes.
formula. That's
I
right.
know what you're saying.
And
Yeah.
we're trying to.
We're
uh, I guess
talking
that's
about
always
finding
been the
correct information,
trying to find correct
right?
information, and that's always like
Tr-
the hardest thing, right?
Finding correct. Yes, it is very difficult. Very
Yeah,
difficult. That's one thing I've been diligent with is trying to get the real story on whether it's events, world events, or crypto stuff. What's the real deal? That's something I do. I am passionate about that, as you are. I know you're really passionate about the truth.
for sure. I mean, we don't have anything else, fact is that the main reason I'm so passionate about it is because if you don't have it, you make the wrong decisions, and that could impact you negatively. And that's one of the
Sure.
reasons I ended up living a lot of the crap that I did because I had the wrong information. I would have never joined
Mm,
the military if I
right.
knew what I knew, right? I mean, why the hell would I do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Right? That's right. Correct.
Yeah.
Nobody would if they knew.
Wow.
See? Yeah.
I almost did, but I didn't. I told them no before they almost signed. I was like, oh, you think about it.
Well, what's
And my
interesting?
buddy signed.
A lot of people don't know this. You can sign, you can go to boot camp and everything, but until you're actually in boot camp, like in the thing, like whereas boot camp, you're not actually in the army. A lot of people do not know that.
Really?
Yep. You can sign a
I did
contract,
not
fly
know
all
that.
the way to basic training, do the in processing, sit around until you actually start boot camp. You're actually not in the army. They don't treat you like that's the case, but that's the case. Yep. So little pro tip if anybody out there is dumb
Interesting.
enough to enlist at this point in time. Jesus. Yeah, you got people
They know
complete
now. They
morons to
know.
enlist. Yo, I to come up as a kid in this era, I feel so fucking sorry for him
It's a
because
weird time
our
for
parents
sure.
didn't do what they were supposed to do. Our parents didn't. Our parents didn't either, and then our parents didn't either. They just let
Yeah.
these specific group of fools run amok, and we're still suffering the consequences as a function of that. That's a fact. I let my mom know all the time. I don't give a fuck. Hurt your damn feelings, lady. Your ass should have told me something. You
Mm,
should have figured it out. They ain't hiding nothing. I figured it out as a little kid, bro.
yeah.
As a little kid, I figured it out. So what's an adult's excuse? This is
Right.
why when I'm on these streams talking, I don't pull no punches. Yo, we all fully capable when we want to be. Key word is want.
Right. Yeah, it's the willingness for sure.
That's damn right.
You gotta be willing to question yourself. That's the hardest thing. The ego is out to kill us.
Yep.
The
Ego is a
ego.
killer. You there, bro? I can't hear you. You sound dead. like that noise. Sounds like we lost. But yeah, that ego is a killer. So if you got that ego, be mindful of that. Because what that does is that it blinds you, right? And when that ego is letting you do the thinking, or when the ego is doing the thinking, let me rephrase, that typically means that you're not really walking how you normally would. You're not really doing anything how you normally would at all, right? And that's kind of the oddest thing about what's actually going on. How do you get to the point where you're seeing the obvious for what it is? That's difficult. I spent a long time streaming, trying to get people to see what the truth is and all that. And even yet, and still, there's resistance, there's pushback, even though I don't do anything but present evidence. Whatever, bro. You there? We still can't hear you if you're there, bro. But yeah, it's just one of those things that information really does lend itself to setting up things that are really what you typically would want anyway, right? And this is why, how do you come to the point where you're trying to do something that's sensible and you can't really muster up the man, they're really digging in the hedron right now. And you can't really muster up the ability to just know something without putting in some kind of prior work, right? So that by default lends itself to putting people in a position of welcome back, sir.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, let me get my earbuds working
Go
again.
ahead, bro. No rush.
Oh, do your thing. Keep your.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, no
listening.
problem. Um, but yeah, you get all in the zone, you get stuck basically. And you don't really want to get stuck, right? You always want to find the right info and all that good stuff. So when you are in a point where things kind of seem to, I don't know, get cloudy, you got to kind of find a way to pull yourself out of that cloudiness so you can reset, recharge, and try to give things a clearer point of view. Let me mute you for a little bit, bro, while you figure that out over there. There we go. So, you know, this stuff is complicated, but at the same time is easy, right? While it's complicated at the same time is easy. So, how do you come to the point where you're making the right decisions? That only comes from having the right information. And this is why people make if you this is why Richard says all the time, if you get crypto right, you're good. But that's difficult for some because they don't have the right information. That's really the whole thing. How do you get to the point where you have the right information? I mean, that shit is hard, right? That is supremely hard. That's not easy for people to pull off. So let's see if Mr. Orangutan is ready. What up, homie?
I'm here, man. I can't get my earbuds to work for some reason.
No worries, man. We're about to wrap it up in a little bit anyway. It's already been an hour and a half. So no worries on that. We try again.
It's making me mad.
Man, you sound all right. You don't sound bad.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you sound fine. If that was your concern, I wish you would have said something sooner. I mean, you sound fine. So you don't have to worry about that.
So y'all got.
Well,
No,
now we
I got
didn't hear
like booted or something, but.
Yeah, you did get booted. Yeah. You did get Das boot. Shout out to Das Bomb. You did get the boot. But yeah, I was just talking about, ascertaining information, like just trying to get your hands on the right information. Right? I mean, when you think about it, man, no matter what you're trying to do, you need information. Right? I mean, no matter what. Oh, you lost. We're trying to ultimately get the right information. How do you really come to the point where you're making any sense? Right? How do you make sense when you don't know that you're making sense? That is hard. It's not straightforward. And that's the crux of the argument, really. It's not. Woo. It's not straightforward. Let me see.
I'm back.
There you go.
I'm back. Hey, let you do your thing. I'm gonna split.
No worries, brother. I'm gonna wrap it up anyway.
Thank you for the stream, man. I had a blast.
No, same here, man. Appreciate you taking the time out, man. Chit chat for a little bit. Pleasure to getting to know you and having the community hear you, hear about your thought processes, right? How you view things, because I think that it's important that everybody hear, all these critical points of view from different vantage points.
Yes. Amen. And everybody should listen to me all the time.
All the time.
That's the takeaway from this stream, guys.
All the time. There's nothing else to do but just listen to Hex Orangutan 100% of the time. Pay attention.
Yes, it's the only orangutan in crypto that I've seen.
Man. Well, hey,
thanks everybody for listening.
For sure. Thank you guys for joining. Peace.
Well, thank you, brother.
No, really thank you, man. I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Yeah,
everybody, for sure. We will do it again soon. You guys, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the super chats and appreciate all the positive sentiment. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and appreciating the message and the information that I'm sharing. I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Amen.
Peace. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you.